Hi, my name is Marie. I've been with Thermomix for 4 months. I'm based in Manchester branch in Altrincham. When I was at school many moons ago, I always wanted to be a teacher. And then that slowly developed when I went to secondary school. I decided I wanted to be a cookery teacher. That's what it was called in those days, domestic science, or needlework, one of the two. It didn't happen because the school I went to, it was the 60s, so it was, it wasn't, career paths weren't mapped out. You had to have a science O-level to go to domestic science college, and domestic science at school was alternatives on the timetable to science, so I chose domestic science, so then couldn't go. So I became a primary school teacher instead. From there, I only worked for about a year. This was in Scotland, then moved to Macclesfield in Cheshire because I got married and my husband worked there. I went on to have my children. It didn't work at that time. I couldn't get a teaching job, so I worked in the careers office. Had my 2 children and stayed at home with them till the younger one was 7. And then the head teacher at the primary school they went to said, "Time to get off your backside, lady, and get back to work. I need a supply teacher." So that's what started 15, 20 years of supply teaching to fit in with children. And my husband worked long hours, was away a lot, so I wanted to be at home with them, didn't want to commit to full-time working, so I thought supply would be the easier option. It wasn't, but I did it. So after 20 years of that, I had unfortunately developed some ill health. Sort of got over that, and then another incident happened. Got through all of that, and I'm over it all now, healthy. But 10 and a half years ago, I'd always wanted a Thermomix. Always. I'd seen them at the Good Food Show and everything, and convinced myself too expensive, but still wanted a Thermomix. So. After my cancer treatment was finished, my husband says, "Let's have a Thermomix between us for Christmas." So that's what we did, and I got a TM5. Fell in love with it and was using it a lot. Thought it was the best thing since sliced bread. And then about two and a bit years ago, my sister decided she wanted one of these magic machines. So I put her in touch with an advisor that I had found online. And she bought the Thermomix, and I was telling my husband, I said, "She's getting the newer model." I says, "I'm a bit jealous." He says, "Well, get one." So I did. I ordered one as well, got the TM6. I thought the TM5 was good. The TM6 is absolutely amazing. So I've actually used a Thermomix for over 10 years now. And then after another bout of illness, this seems to be a recurring theme, I got better, and friends, I decided, I loved the Thermomix so much, I said, if I was 10 years younger, I would be an advisor. And then I kept thinking about it, and I thought, well, 10 years, I do love the machine, I know it inside out. I said, I'm going to go for it, I've got nothing to lose. I gave myself a talking to and decided I would become an advisor. It's been a bit uphill since then. It's going back into the workplace, if you like. But yeah, that's how I arrived at Manchester branch 4 months ago for a sort of a meeting, just to see if I fancied it, and sort of got swept along and joined. Earned my Thermomix for free, so I now have 3 of them at home. I bought the white one 2 years ago, then they brought out the Black Diamond special edition. And I was telling my husband, I said, "Oh, look, we've got a Black Diamond one. And my kitchen is black, I've got black granite worktops." I said, "That would look good in my kitchen." He said, "Well, get one." So I did. So I have one in each corner of the kitchen. After I bought the TM6, both my sisters bought one. Their children got them. I bought 2 for my children for Christmas 2 years ago. So yeah, I was an advisor before I was an advisor, because they didn't ever ring up the advisor that sold them the machines. They would just, and my sister still does to this day. I get FaceTime videos most afternoons. "Marie, how do I do this? How do I do that?" So we talk it through, and yeah, that's basically what I do. I like being an advisor because it gets me out of the house, talking to people about things that I love. It was a bit strange. This was really what triggered it. I have lots of groups of friends and we all do all different things, but trying to meet up for lunches or evenings out, somebody will suggest a date or a series of dates, and I'm the one that could do all of them because I really didn't have a life outside the house. They all did pottery, choirs, flower arranging, all the sort of things you do when you retire. I wasn't interested in any of that. I just love cooking, which is quite so. And I'm not unhappy being at home all the time, but I thought, something not right here if I'm the one that can always fit in with everybody else. I said, I need an outside interest. So yeah, basically that was my thinking behind it. That was the talking I gave myself. Get out there and do it. I don't have a favourite recipe. I have a favourite mode, which is the thicken mode. I love sauces, bechamel sauces, hollandaise, all these sorts of things. I just find it quite magical. But what I cook a lot is the most, because it's one of my husband's favourite, is the Murg Makhani. I'm sure many people will say that. I like the caramelised red onion chutney. It's always in my fridge. Yoghurt is always in the fridge. Turmeric wellness shots is always in the fridge. And rice. I haven't cooked rice outside of a Thermomix for 10 years. I just won't do it. The role it plays in my life is it just makes my life a lot easier. I'm easily distracted because there's always another job. My brain's always off onto the next job. And the Thermomix will stop itself before it burns. It doesn't boil dry. I very rarely use my hob now. In fact, I struggle to think of things that you can't use a Thermomix for. And the only thing I can come up with that I would cook regularly is a fried egg. I can't fry an egg in it, but apart from that, everything else gets put in the Thermomix. So it does make life easier. Less washing up for my husband. When I didn't have a Thermomix, well, it took me 2 years to decide to get it. I just knew it was something that would make my life easier. But the money really wasn't an issue, but the generation I grew up in, you had to justify what you spent. You had to save up for things. You didn't just go out on a whim and spend £1,000 on a gadget. Some of my friends now are absolutely horrified at what I spent on 2 of them, never mind 1. But yeah, I knew it would make my life easier. I didn't know how much easier until I actually got one. I still am, continue to be amazed by what it can do for me. You learn something new every time you go to a cooking class or a branch meeting or something. Oh, not tried that one. I can see already it's just lovely to be with people who think the same way as me. I don't feel on the outside anymore as a bit of a geek who cooks everything from scratch, because I very rarely buy, well, I don't. I was on that journey before. I don't buy ultra-processed foods. I didn't before. Everything had to be made from scratch, which my friends find quite ridiculous, to be honest. Why would you make a pizza when you can go and buy one? Why would you make your own mayonnaise? Because it's better. All of this, they just don't understand. Thermomix people and advisors do understand. And they know how easy it is. And it's, making your own mayonnaise is less than 5 minutes work. So why would I go and buy a jar or a tin or a bottle or whatever? I became an advisor because my friend said, I was always wary about the selling side of it. I'm not a salesperson, never have been. I'm still not very good at it, to be honest. But I will talk all day about Thermomix and what it can do. And my friend who was in sales, and as she calls herself, she's a pushy Yank, who used to sell, and she was very good at it. She says, you don't need to learn to sell. If you're passionate about the product that you're selling, if you believe in it, it will sell itself. So I can talk. So yeah, I just talk Thermomix till people get bored and tell me to be quiet. Basically. For new advisors, if somebody thinking about it, I would just say go for it. You've got nothing to lose. You do the training. You're given a Thermomix to take home and play with. You'll fall in love with it. So at the end, if you don't earn it, you'll buy it. and you will then, you'll love it. And you can earn it for free if you want. Both my children didn't think they needed one, and my son-in-law in particular did not think he needed a Thermomix. Why would we need one? We can do this. And he grudgingly admitted a couple of months ago that he's glad he's got it, that he uses it a lot more than he thought he would, and he likes it, and he likes the cookie dough. What I like about cookie dough is what I hate about it as well. It's the 90,000 recipes. You find one you like, but then there's always another one to try. You can never get back to the ones you like because there's always something new to try.